My name is Georgina Ganyanda and welcome to Let's Talk Mental Health. It's February, a month where we delve into romance and spouses and relationships, especially with emphasis on Valentine's Day. And with relationships come different kinds of challenges. Today in particular, we're going to be talking about long distance relationships.
That's why Valentine is coming. Where's our boyfriend?
Long distance relationships can be in between districts, states, countries, and even continents. And depending on what's happening, it can last years and but one thing's for sure, long distance relationships are not for the lighthearted. In essence, we're all human. We like to be around the people that we love. We want to embrace them and physically be with them. But when you're in a long distance relationship, that's not exactly possible. But here are a few tips that could help you make it a little bit easier. First of all, communication is key. Communicate as much as possible. Take advantage of the technology that you have. So send texts on a daily basis, once in a while, or maybe if you're into having it daily, have video calls, make a phone call, just as long as you make time to try and communicate as much as possible. There's one thing I really need to emphasize is that serious conversations should never be done over text, ever. I mean it. The problem is, if you're trying to communicate something important, whether it's an issue with your spouse or something else that's really deep, you can't send it through a text because it can easily be taken out of context. If you text somebody something important, they could easily take it out of context because they're not seeing your facial expressions and they're not necessarily receiving any audio feedback from you at that time. So it can be easy to misinterpret anything that you put forward. So if you're gonna talk about anything that's serious, especially if it's an issue with your spouse and whatever they're doing, make a call. Call them or make a video call. It's super important to do that and it will save you a lot of trouble. Make it a daily practice and stay involved. You need to know what your spouse is doing. How is their day? Is everything going well? Is there something that they're concerned about? Start conversations about things that you both enjoy and just spend that time together, even though it's short or even if it's brief in any way, shape, or form. As long as you dedicate at least a few minutes of your time each day to your spouse, it'll make them feel special and it'll keep you connected. The other point is to be open and honest. Do not keep things to yourself. Your spouse is there for you. They're supposed to help you through the things that you go through. They're supposed to be the person that you relay your issues to. So if you keep your emotions to yourself and things that are really bugging you to yourself over time, they can build up on the inside and possibly negatively affect your relationship. It's also important to know that when you're relaying these feelings that you're having, you must maintain a level of calm and understanding and just be open to listen to what the other person has to say. If you can stay calm during a conversation, it makes it easier for you to sift through all of those emotions and feelings, and in the end, it helps you deal with your problems better. In another scenario where maybe you're being aggressive or you're just being passive towards the other person, it won't necessarily help you grow and it won't necessarily help your problems. Instead, it will add more problems to your relationship. It'll basically add more conflict. So if you're having those conversations as well, while you're being open, while you're being honest, while you're talking about what you're going through, just remain calm. The next point is to have special days. A lot of us have heard about things like date nights where people like maybe set a movie on or they go out for dinner, of course, which we can't do these days. But you can still do the same thing. We have so many different facilities. You can watch a movie simultaneously online. You can set up a video call and prepare a special meal and have a meal with your partner virtually. You can get creative. Maybe you're going on a trip or something and you want them to ride along with you. So you can have them on the phone and show them where you're going and what you're exploring. So that in some sense, they're experiencing life with you, even though they're not physically there. As difficult as it may be, we should also understand that these things have come a pretty long way. I remember hearing stories from my parents about them sending letters and knowing how they didn't have any of us. They didn't have like the internet or any of that. They'd send letters to each other and they were in two different districts. and it will take probably about a week or more for a letter to reach the other person. And you can imagine the amount of anticipation and anxiety, wondering, how is the person I care about doing? When is this letter gonna come? That sense of excitement. You can imagine that it wasn't something that was very easy to go through. Even now, it isn't. But we also need to appreciate that we have all of these resources that we can use to help our relationship grow even when we're far apart. But at the end of the day, remember that it's only for a period of time. Be patient. Eventually, you'll get to where you need to be. Eventually, you'll get that house that you're planning to get to. Eventually, you'll get that green card. Eventually, you'll both be in a position where you can be together again in the same place. But for now, be strong, be patient, continue to love and learn and grow with your partner, and make the best out of the situation that you have and out of the facilities that you own. Please remember to like and subscribe. The blog is up and running again. Please do make time to read the article that I posted. It's about reflection. If you watched the last video, it's basically continues to talk about reflection and the three stages of that kind of reflection in more detail. If you have any comments, do leave them below. Please do follow me on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All the links will be down below for you guys. Let's talk mental health.